What up, y'all? It drives me crazy to think that you have to give up having expectations for people. Expectations for everybody, right? You could have your family, your friends, your significant other. You always want your other people around you to do good, unless you're an envious person, right? But sometimes that can backfire on you. Having expectations for people is, I don't want to say harming to human society, but it definitely can leave you with tons of disappointment within your catalog of peoples, right? For example, I've got a friend who has always been able to be fully committed and strict with his relationships. As in, the only time that he would ever get into a relationship is if he's going to take that girl 100% serious. He doesn't do no side women. He don't do anything on the sides. It's, you're talking to me, I'm talking to you, that's it. Well, he ended up getting with a girl that I told him was not necessarily his type of girl, and he wanted to pursue past it. Now listen to me, right? Gotta go course your own path in life. And although I know this guy as being the most consistent person, the most dedicated person in the world, actually, I've even seen his faults, his weakness, as in, like, he got with the girl ends up talking to somebody new, they end up separating, yada yada yada. He's disappointed, going through the breakup phase, whatever. But the problem is, he's still now talking to that girl, and like I said before, he didn't agree with the whole sidelining, nothing like that, carrying on anything. She's got a boyfriend, or she's had a boyfriend, yada yada yada, and he was still talking to her. So it's like he went against his own beliefs over a girl. And all that to say that, you know, my expectations was much higher that he wouldn't have even ended up in this situation in the first place, but I shouldn't have had those expectations. A lot of people say you could have expectations for your woman, or your significant other, I guess I should say, right? You got expectations that your significant other, well, at least as far as I'm concerned, the whole clothing thing, I don't necessarily have a problem with clothing, but I feel like to a certain degree, things such as clothing, going out, talking with other guys, things like that is already, I feel like that should already be justified without me needing to necessarily bring it up. But I've now got a more open perception that you got to bring up everything with everybody, because everybody has different experiences in life. Some people might not see it that you take those offense to those types of things. And it's not, I hate when people try to say that's insecurity because you don't want your girl dressing crazy, or you don't want your girl to consistently talk with guys. It's just like, nah, I know that, wow. I know that there is people out there that is hunting for my girl, and why would I allow her, or why would I want her to make it easier for them to find her, or to embed themselves with her, to embark on what could be with her, right? That's what I've come to realize. I don't personally want to deal with that in my life. Now, other people, if other guys don't care, they don't care. Because I can be nonchalant about a lot of things. Like, a lot of things, it really won't bother me. But many things, it is a problem. And I think that there are some females in the world that can't accept that, and that won't accept that, and that's okay. Because everybody has to have their own regulations in life. It's perfectly fine. Luckily for me, I just know what I will and will not accept, and if you don't fit with the program, then it's all good. There's plenty of other Troy V's out there. I like to think that there is an idea of soulmates, but I think that the idea of soulmates is also a pretty toxic idea for a lot of people, because you got females that read these books, males that read these books, watch movies, whatever, and they're waiting for the perfect experience to happen where they can say, okay, this is how I know that this person's the one. But what happens is the girl falls in love, or the person falls in love, and then they get heartbroken, and then they fall in love and they get heartbroken, and then they fall in love and they get heartbroken, to the point where they've done that so many times that now it's like, what more can be brought to the table for them to learn, or to learn from, to appreciate, right? You can only appreciate flowers so many times as a woman. Don't get me wrong, you can always still appreciate the flowers, but it's only as heartwarming as it can be every once in a while. Can't do it every day. That's with everything in life. You can't do anything in life too much. Everything has to be done in moderation. For example, eating ice cream. Ice cream is my weakness, man. I can eat ice cream all day, every day if I really wanted to. But you got to do those types of things in moderation. I've actually been 3 months clean on ice cream. You know me, doing my diet type things. But everything's in moderation, man. Like, even I'm gonna put y'all on game. There's two different things I'm gonna branch off with this, because it could really be discussed in two different topics, but it all still falls into you needing to pay attention to your moderation. First one being, as you talk to girls, right? You can't just go out here being one of those guys that's on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you're meeting girls at, and you're just hey to every single girl that you add on Facebook. That is wild. It actually astonishes me that there is people in this world that do that, and they have a success rate. You can send hey 100 times a day if Facebook don't block you, and most likely you won't get 5 haybacks, and then out of those you might get 2 meaningful conversations, and then you might get one that you actually take on something with. But that's also a thing with moderation. You can't be talking to too many women at the same time. That's just doing too much. You got to do that in moderation. You can handle I used to think that I could handle 6 women at one time if I really wanted to, but then as you get older, you start realizing every woman has their own baggage of problems. And if you've got your own problems in life, are you really willing to accept having other people's problems that you now have to hear about, think about, wonder about, attempt to resolve? Because many people don't, or many of these people that tell you their problems don't actually want their problems resolved. They just want to talk about having problems, right? So that's the first segment, is that you got to be moderate with the amount of women that you talk to. And now let's break it down even further, and let's just say that you're a very consistent person, because I can be 100% consistent, right? I can say good morning to a woman for like 3 years straight and not miss a single day. Of course, girls appreciate that in the beginning and for so long, but then eventually you start realizing, dang, you text good morning, I'm not gonna look at it this time. I'm already expecting. It's moderation. So that to say, not just the good morning text, but you gotta talk to girls in moderation. You gotta hit them with the hey, you can't be lying about this stuff either. You can't hit them with the hey, I'm going out for conquering the day. I've got a lot of things, big things planned. I'll talk to you as soon as I'm finished greeting the world, right? You can talk like that, but you actually have to mean the things that you're saying. But you got to do that in moderation. You can't do that too many times, because then girls will be like, man, he ain't never got time for me. So everything comes down to moderation. It's always about moderation. When you drink, it's in moderation. People that smoke, they say moderation. If you eat unhealthily, that's in moderation. Everything's in moderation. Only thing that should not be in moderation is putting gas in your car. People that do not fill up their gas tank annoy me. Why are you putting you have the amount of money it takes to fill up your car, and you're going to tell me that the reason you're choosing to not fill up your car is because if your car has a problem here in 2 weeks or a week or whatever, then you want to have that money to be available to fix the problems on your car rather than to have wasted it on gas that you didn't use. Yo, you know how broke of a statement that sounds like? I'm telling you, man, I've got some broke friends. I've got some very broke friends and very broke family members. I love it. I love it. Like, I'm not saying I made it out, but I got on the other side and I haven't went back since. But you know, it can all come crashing down at any moment, so you always got to remain grateful. But all that to say that my broke peoples are broke, bro. They are broke. They are broke. But yeah, man, everything's in moderation. You gotta pay attention to all of your surroundings. You gotta pay attention to all of your surroundings because many people don't understand that when you're not paying attention is when the other people are looking to strike. I'm pretty sure there's a specific snake that will watch the prey prior to attacking, or maybe that's all snakes, but there's a specific one that I feel is known for it. And it'll sit there for however long it needs to until finally it sees that you're slacking. Got him. Right? Got him. I'm actually on my way to Best Buy right now. I'm going to pick up one of those mics. I was listening back to my beginning videos and I didn't necessarily like that my mic quality wasn't very clear. I think that it gets too high in certain tones and too low in certain tones, so we shall fix that. You know, everybody's channel or page or videos, whatever, got to start from somewhere, and then you level up, and then you level up, and then you level up, and you level up, so forth and so on. And I'm a big fan of starting at the bottom and kind of working your way up. I like to skip as much as I can. So if I can skip having to get the cheapest microphone, which it would have worked, you know, I could get that one that's just like I think they call it a lavalier. You know, I had to do my research on microphones. You plug it into like a headphone jack, and then the other side just goes to you, and it's supposedly that's really good quality. But no, I'll just get me a wireless one, you know, put it on the shirt or wherever, and call it a day. Keep it simple. Whichever one everybody else is using, we're just going to go ahead and get that one. So we just go in Best Buy. We ask them which one's the one that everybody gets. What's your top 2 or 3? ChatGPT it maybe. Ask somebody if we know somebody that's a microphone type person. I don't think I know a mic person. Mic check. Mic check. But yeah, that's what we got planned for today. I've got my classes for Spanish I've got to go to after that. I'm always looking forward to Spanish speaking classes, man. I don't know why, but I didn't imagine my class would be in the format that it is. Like, I just do one-on-one classes with my teacher because I'm a little bit more advanced compared to the other students that are in her other few classes she has. And a lot of times I just go there and just talk with her for hours. We just talk, and then she teaches me new things along us talking, and it's just like, you know, being friends with somebody almost. So it's kind of a dope thing. It's the first time I've taken a class as an adult, a consistent class. I'm sure I've taken like a class here. It's like maybe a small cooking class or something like that, but it's the first time I've taken like a big, like, this is something for my life that I really want to embark on. Speaking of, I've come to realize I'm not doing enough Spanish speaking videos. I'm doing a lot of these English speaking videos, and I think that I'm going to finally start trying or attempting to do, I almost wanted to say I'm going to try to do one English video a day and then one Spanish video a day just to see what happens, because you got to test things out, right? You never know how it's going to go. It could be both fail, but who knows. Anywho, we just made it to the Best Buy.